Hey everyone, welcome to another Haze Reverb video, and in this one we're going to talk about the Festive SSR Selector ticket that you'll get in the event at the moment. And yeah, we're going to go over some of the units that I would recommend to get from this ticket. I won't go through every single character because that's going to take too long, but I just want to briefly mention like a whole bunch of different characters for certain different purposes, and then you can decide for yourself who you want to pick. Now this is just for those who want a meta meta advice, right? If you just want to pick a unit for your, that's your waifu, and you really want that character, then go ahead and do that. But yeah, we'll quickly go into this ticket here, and I checked it, and it seems like every character from Franca and earlier is available in this ticket, including limited units, but not including the Chain Soldier collab units, with the one exception of Alba, which is a little bit funny. I was not expecting that to happen, but Alba is available on this ticket, but the other Chain Soldier characters are not. Okay, so if you want to get her, it's up to you. I don't recommend it because she's not that good, but if you want her for collection, then who am I to stop you? Additionally, it will show you the characters you're missing at the top, right? And then anything that you own will be automatically sorted to the bottom, and you'll also have like a indicator that you do own them, and if you do consume it for that character, you'll get their 20 books instead. So yeah, that is the Festive ticket. Now I have shortlisted all these, and mostly they're going to be limited units, and I would recommend you to try to focus on getting the limited units first, because obviously you don't know when they're going to get rerun, and with the 72-hour banner thing, I don't know how often that's going to get a return as well. So yeah, the limited units you may be more likely to wait for like in the future, but I did want to mention a very few select non-limited units that are technically available in the custom banner. But just in case you just maybe you have all the limited units already, or there's something that you really want for a certain purpose, then I have just like the ones that are just like the very best for that purpose, right? So we've got Monica. So Monica is a Crusade Raid support. Not much more to. I'll try to keep this very brief, right? So she's a Crusade Raid support and get buffed. She's ideal for dual DPS setups, right? So if Crusade Raids are your jam, then you can pick her. Not necessary to like just clear it. If you want to clear the boss, you don't need too many fancy supports. But if you want, to climb the rankings, then she's probably going to be a unit that you want. And she's not limited, so you can get her in the custom battle instead. But I thought I wanted to mention her because she is one of the premium ones to include in teams these days. Similarly, Maria is another support for Crusade Raids, the best single target support, similar to like Maybell and Tina. However, Maybell and Tina are both much easier to obtain, and you don't require you to spend golden books. So if you just want a budget version, just use those, and you don't need Maria. But for those who want to climb in Crusade Raids, then Maria is a very good choice, and she is limited. Then we've got Susu. So Susu is a heavy unit. She's flexible and able to be used in any team for PvP, right? I wouldn't use her for anything else, but she's a very good unit in PvP at the moment due to the range of her attack. So you can potentially wipe out quite a few units, especially because at the moment a lot of people are running 2 row teams, and that means a lot more units are jammed into each of these rows, and that can allow you to have some very devastating turns with a Susu for those who care about PvP. Additionally, for another PvP unit, we've got Red. So Red is a tank unit, an auto-tourner, and primarily used for PvP, and a hard counter to Type T. So those are like the reasons why you might want to grab her. She's not limited as well, but she's another premium non-limited unit. Next we've got Valentine Julius, who is a limited unit, and she's the best anti-armor DPS for Crusade Raid bosses. So if you care about that and climbing Crusade Raids, then she is one of the best ones for that. But a little bit more situational to use because she has to be buffed a certain way to like cap out her damage. She needs max armor and obviously max attack, which can be a little bit tricky. So If you don't want it to do anything too fancy, you can skip her and use a different Crusade Raid DPS, which I'll talk about later. Next we got Belina. So Belina is an anti-res DPS primarily used for Crusade Raids, and she's just the overall best one. Even on non-resistance bosses, she can also be used as long as the boss isn't super high on their damage reduction. So if they have like less than 80% armor or something like that, then she can typically outperform a lot of anti-armor DPS even. But yeah, the lower the armor, of course, the better. But there are ways to potentially reduce it. It just depends on whether the boss is affected by those reductions. For example, Shushu's anti-armor debuff sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, right? And if it does work, reducing 20% armor off like a 50% armor boss is pretty huge and allows Belina to outperform a lot of units in that case, despite being an anti-res unit. So yeah, if you want a catch most bosses with a single unit, Belina is the one that you should choose. Next, we've got Lilith Swimsuit. Now, this is a bit of a speculative pick for me. I think she's good for the assault team. I haven't built an assault team like properly yet, so I'm not 100% sure because obviously I don't have enough books to skill them all up to try them out and make a whole new separate team for PvP. But I think she's pretty good because she is a unit that buffs assaults, and she's a taunting unit as well with very good utility, and I think she's quite solid for assault teams in PvP. Outside of that, I don't think she has much use. Next we've got Nanami. So Nanami is another assault unit, a core unit, and I think you would probably prioritize her over Lilith if you are trying to build an assault team for PvP. So yeah, she buffs your taunting units with additional effects and stuff like that. And then she's also she herself is a DPS as well. And for those that do care about PvP, from what I've seen, the people who are running the assault teams do have like a max Nanami, and they seem to be doing pretty well. Then next we've got Harriet. So Harriet is the core unit for guard teams as the DPS unit. She's actually like a hybrid where she actually needs armor and also attack, right? You could build either way, like you could build a pure armor if you just want her to tank, but ideally I think you want at least like a hybrid build to do some damage, because that's basically where she excels. She can kill 2 units in one go due to her EX, and it forces a lot of people to play around her being on the board. So yeah, she's a premium unit in the PvP. However, she's not limited. So that's one reason why you may not want to get her. But if you just only care about PvP and you are running a guard team, you have your Hawk already, then Harriet is probably one of the picks that you should consider. And speaking of Hawk is the next unit to be recommended, and she is the best guard unit at the moment. Pretty much ever since she got released, she's been like crazy. She's not as crazy these days, mostly because people have sort of learned how to deal with her, and also there's being power creep and stuff like that. But even despite all that, she's still one of the best units in the game still for PvP purposes. Usable in Moonabis as well, but then at least I don't think she's used in Crusade Raids. Maybe in the future there might be a boss that would need a Hawk, because I think people do use her on the other servers, or at least I've heard of that, but I don't know why they would use her. Maybe their boss is a little different to ours, but at the moment I don't use her in Crusade Raids. But yeah, definitely for PvP she is one of the premium units. Alright, next we're going to talk about Alvida and Mirai at the same time. So Alvida is a unit similar to Morgan, except that she needs to kill a support unit to AoE the whole map, and then Mirai needs to kill a guard unit, and then she'll AoE the map, right? So most people should be aware of what Morgan does already. She just needs to kill an assault unit and wipe the map. So they're basically they're called the Nuka Trio because all three kind of do the same sort of role, except that they target different units. Now, technically speaking, you can get by most of the game with just Morgan, but I think having at least one of the other two makes it a lot more flexible, and for stages where Morgan can't be used, you can use the other one to hopefully hit something with their attack range, and also them being able to attack different units to pop them, right? So if there's no assault units on the map at all, then you could use like Mirai to hit a guard unit or something like that, right? So all three are pretty good choices. You probably already have a Morgan by now, so it's mostly a choice between Mirai and Alvida. Both of them are also limited, which is another reason why I'm putting them as a recommended here. Additionally, if you do want to get all three, it's more for convenience, right? You don't need all three, but yeah, if you just want an easy time in PvE, having all three is great. Additionally, all of them don't need skill ups to perform their job. You just need to buff them with some supports, like a Tina plus Franco, for example, and they're generally good to go for almost everything. The only place you might struggle to use these are in very high abyss, so moon abyss floors, but you're able to do it on the low 80s as well. So, if you're just doing tier 80 moon abyss, you can use the nukers to fast clear the map. Next, we got Mel. So Mel is the other unit I was going to talk about in relation to if you don't want to have a very complicated team for armor bosses in Crusade raids, and for that reason you're not going to pick up a Valentine Julius. Mel is a much better unit overall, just because she works very well by herself. She doesn't need to have a dual DPS to kill bosses, and even just to score fairly high, right? And you could just run her, and on armor bosses and do very well by herself. But yeah, she is one of the premium units. She's like the marking unit as well. So if you want to overkill for more, you want her to apply a mark, or 2 marks actually, both of which do quite a lot of damage, and yeah, mostly a Crusade raid unit. Next we've got Mo. So Mo is another PvP unit, and for the guard team, similar sort of role with Clock, where she buffs your guard units. Very good, especially if you're running Harriet and Fafnir, which is probably very likely because they're both scaling off armor and attack for damage, and she buffs both of those for guard units. So very good support unit, and she can do the blind effect, which reduces the enemy's range, which is pretty good, or their attack range, right, or buffing range. So a lot of people also need to sort of play around where she's positioned and who she's going to hit with her blind abilities. Next we've got Fafnir, another PvP unit. She's currently on banner, so if you do want to get her, you might want to pull on that instead. But if you miss out on that banner, maybe you still have this ticket in the future, you could consider her if you already have Harriet. I think Harriet is a better choice, but Fafnir is like a possible unit to use in your guard teams as the DPS, right? She is also like a taunting unit with her overlimit as well. Technically, she's already a taunting unit because usually she'll reave and steal the taunt buff of whoever's auto taunting, and then she becomes a tank as well. So yeah, she's got a pretty good utility kit and worth building if you want to build a guard team. Alright, then next we've got Shisha. So Shisha is like the equivalent of Mo for heavy teams, where she's buffing your heavies with as long as you're fielding a certain number of them in your team. Again, another PvP unit, because heavy teams aren't really used anywhere outside of PvP. So if you do want to focus on PvP and you plan to build a heavy team, you'll probably want to have a Shisha on your team. And then there's also next we got Chiaki. So Chiaki is the last one I'm going to talk about. She is a bit of an up-and-coming unit, or she's been gaining a lot of popularity for like the past few weeks or so. She is a very strong DPS, can be used in any team lineup. Doesn't have to be in assault teams, but a lot of assault teams naturally will run her because she's going to get buffed by things like Lilith. And yeah, she's a very solid DPS unit with a good attack range. It's like a reverse Lina. So if you can hit the unit in the middle that's getting buffed by a Lina, it's pretty devastating to get hit by like all 3 of these units getting hit and being taken out. So that's what makes her very strong. And she's also a limited unit. Okay? Shisha and Chiaki are both limited. Then from here, that's basically the cutoff, right, for the units that I would recommend for this ticket. Now, there's other honorable mentions, like there's like Zhao Wu, and for like Crusade Raids, there's like, I don't know, like Mira for like a T-Star bait unit for assault teams. Like there's whole niche cases, but I think these are a bit more of like a catch-all thing. Like there's stuff for Crusades, there's stuff for PvP, and there's stuff for Moonabis. So hopefully that helps you decide on what you want to pick. If you already have all these units, then you can go ahead and pick whatever you want beyond that. Because I think at that point you probably already know what you want to get, and it shouldn't be too much of a choice for you to pick up something, right? At the very least, like if in doubt, just obviously it's sorted by whoever you're missing. Just pick whoever you're missing, right? It's better to get a character that you're missing over just getting books for a specific character instead. So anyway, that is it for this video. I hope that's helpful. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.